Hello, everyone. Today is March 10th. You're watching NuPath Live. My name is Dan Harris. I'm your host. Tuesday, March 8th, I didn't get a chance to wish you all happy International Women's Day. This is a global celebration of economic, political, and social achievements of women, and there have been so many, as we know. This is a time when, um, since March 8th, actually, it hasn't been ever since March 8th of 1911. That's the first record of the observance of a day to recognize the contributions of women. And the United Nations has sponsored an International Women's Day since 1975. So this is not a new arrival. This is just something we're talking about this year, and I'm kind of excited about it. Um, when adopting the resolution for the observance of International Women's Day, the UN General Assembly cited the following reasons. Okay, this is important. To recognize the fact that securing peace and social progress and the full enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms require the active participation, equality, and development of women. And that's across the whole planet. And to acknowledge the contribution of women to the strengthening of international peace and security. With everything going on in the world, and what's happening in Ukraine, we need peace and security, and it makes me wonder if two women were in charge. I'm quite sure we would not be dealing with this right now in Russia and Ukraine. Tina Fey said, "You know what? Bitches get stuff done." Greg said I shouldn't say that word on air, but I'm not actually saying it. I'm saying what Tina Fey said, and they do. So many powerful, strong, competent, capable, experienced women, and we have so many at NuPath that help guide us and make us a better place. And if you'll indulge me, I put my own mother up in the collage of women, and she was a force that I'm thinking about at this time of year as we come up on the 1 year since she's passed away. Speaking of mothers, we have a new mother we're going to talk to next, and that is our own Haley Aru Haggerty, board member, and we're going to go talk to her. We're going to talk to her right now. So I'm so pleased to welcome Haley Aru Haggerty. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Dan.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen you for so long, and of course you are here as a new mother. You have a new beautiful daughter, Harper Rose. Is that right?
Yes, you got it right, Miss Harper
right.
Rose.
And she was born, this I'm not going to get right, in January, right?
She was. She was born January 26th, so she is 6 weeks old today.
I asked her yesterday if she's a good baby, if you've been getting sleep. Are you ragged? You look great, but how are you feeling? What's it been like to be a new mother? Is it everything you thought it was going to be? Is it crazy? Tell us about it.
It is such a journey. Everybody tells you all these things and certainly gives you lots of advice before you have a baby. But it's really been a great 6 weeks with her, honestly. I mean, it's not without its challenges and not without its frustrating times and tears, but she is a wonderful baby, a happy little girl, and it's just so wonderful to have her and hold her and be with her during the day. So we're really, really blessed. We've wanted this for a long time.
I know you did, and I know it's also true. I just want to our listening and our viewers that you didn't take advice. You didn't take my advice on names. I thought I'd give you some really good ones, but you chose another that you seemed to favor over mine.
Yeah.
I hear that Rich, Harper's daddy, is a wonderful daddy. Is he a good father?
Oh my gosh, he is such a wonderful father and such a great partner in life. And he loves her and she loves him. And it's just so wonderful to see and to have a great partner by my side. I certainly couldn't do it without him.
That is so nice. I mean, you knew he would be. He's just that kind of guy, you know. I mean, you just could tell he was going to be a doting a doting father, and she recognizes him. She's laughing and all that stuff.
She's just starting to smile. So, I mean,
Yeah.
she was doing it on her randomly, but they're around 6 to 8 weeks is when they start to social smile, meaning that they'll smile at you. So she's just starting that, and she's finding her voice and playing around, and it's just really cute to see. Each week she's got something new going on.
You are, in addition to being a new mother, you are a speaker, trainer, consultant. You work with your father and I guess your sister too, at the Sandler training.
Yes.
But you've been mostly or completely virtual since the pandemic hit. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, our business was all in person prior to COVID in a world that we didn't know COVID existed, traveled a lot, got on airplanes, spent a lot of time in my car commuting in this Boston traffic. And then once COVID hit, we had to change how we did things. And so we've been completely virtual ever since. And it's been a great, great thing for our business. We've been able to work with clients all across the United States and be with people that in traditional terms, maybe before COVID, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to work with them. So it's been great.
Is it been out there in your head that you're so glad that you don't have to face the transition back into the office and leave that little darling creature behind and
I
put her in daycare or not see her for, I mean, think about the flexibility that it's going to provide you to kind of be there for all of her milestones and still meet the needs of your customers.
I know it really is. There's certainly so many things that have been frustrating and difficult about this last couple of years, for sure. But what I will say is there has been some major silver linings. And one of them is that I'm not spending hours in my car in traffic every day. So I got some time back, which is wonderful. But the second thing, you're right, Dan, I'm going to be able to be more flexible, be home more, be able to be there for my daughter, which is really amazing and such an amazing thing to say.
It is great to hear you say it. You know, you and I, again, you're on our board of directors, and I've just been so happy that I got to meet you when you were still known as the future Mrs. Haggerty, at the different fundraisers I met you at with Rich's. But we used to talk about what we thought this portended after the pandemic. You know, was this going to be the future of work? You know, what was it going to look like? And you do so much work with sales teams and customers all over. I guess the greater Boston area, probably far beyond those areas. What are you hearing? Are you hearing that that there's going to be that I guess what I'm asking is my opinions have kind of shifted and changed as I've seen examples of virtual working being effective, against all of my belief systems. And I wonder if that's shifting. Is it changing? Have you noticed anything as we've gone into this now into year three? And do you have any way of predicting, like, how's it going to settle in the end?
Well, I think it really has been interesting. I would say for us, and for many of my clients, yeah, you're right. We work with so many different companies, all different sizes, small companies to really large companies across the United States and here locally. And what I would say is that we have been able to be with our clients more often. So virtual has allowed us to be able to jump on a call, see each other's faces, spend time together in a more meaningful way than maybe we would have in the past. But what I will say about getting back together in the future, or in person, is that I think companies are finding that when we do have in-person meetings or in-person activities, that there's a deeper meaning behind why we're doing some of the things that we're doing. So we're not just clocking in 9 to 5. It is what it is. We're sort of in this routine. I think the pandemic has taught us that we can have more meaningful meetings, connections, in a different way than maybe we had in the past. And we can all sort of save time and do things a little bit more efficiently. And then if we are together, hey, that's a great cause to celebrate being together in person, but we can also do meaningful work virtually as well.
I think that's just a great point to make. When we first closed and started to return to the office, I was very, what's the word I want to use? Dogmatic in how I was professing that this is temporary. We're going to be back in the office. This is our way. This is our culture. And then the Delta variant hit, and then the Omicron hit, and I got to the point where I just was like, I used to early on I'd be checking down to see who was in on what day, and not really, but a little bit. You're curious to see if it felt like people were back, and now I feel like I've just not really exactly given up, but I'm just going with the flow, baby. I mean, this is and as we've been recruiting for some key positions in our finance department, we're looking for a controller and we're looking for um, accounts receivable. I think I should think about what I'm saying before I plunge into a discussion. But we're hearing that people are saying, look, I want it to be virtual. We've had applicants from all over the country. And there'd be a day where you'd see it, Tennessee. How does this person think they're going to work here? But it's offering certain employers more options in some ways for some employers. They could consider now people from different parts of the country that they never could before. And it's providing more opportunity for those employees that maybe could afford the cost of living in Boston, but could do a really great job and still live someplace else geographically. And I wonder if these are things your customers are reporting or recognizing in their delivery of services.
Absolutely. I mean, hiring is my clients, yours, everybody's biggest challenge is to find great people, and being able to open the search, open our eyes to different opportunities, different locations, thinking about things entirely different, I think is, again, going back to my silver linings, that would be maybe silver lining number 3, is that we can find people that maybe wouldn't have been in our traditional scope, or the job description changes in a way that's nuanced. I think that's really cool. And I'll give you an example. We had a training session, whenever it was, a couple weeks ago, when we had a snowstorm here. And we would have historically, prior to COVID, said, it's canceled, we'll have to reschedule. And you can imagine the nightmare of trying to pick a date, a new date. You've probably been through these things. But when we had the snowstorm, everybody just dialed in. We were all on camera. Nobody thought about it. Everybody had their cup of coffee, and we were able to still roll as if we were in person. So I realize not every business is able to do those things, but for those that are, I think embracing it has been a real benefit across the board.
And as you pointed out, rightly so, we've learned, at least, I heard you say, and I've learned that there are certain situations where the virtual experience may be superior. And you talked about the frequency and the additional attention you're able to give your customers because you're able to drop in. You'd be at a Zoom call where you couldn't have, you'd hit the road for every one of those, and that's an enhancement. We have a business meeting with all of our team. In fact, you did a training for us a couple of years ago. I still remember. You were terrific. And so during the pandemic, we were all virtual. And then as we started to return, we had a conversation in the planning team, the Pathfinders, we call it. And what, there may be certain months that we assign to be virtual because that may be better for certain kinds of meetings where it's strictly updates and reporting in some ways, it's like, it's like the difference between watching a baseball game there at Fenway Park, where you're up in the bleachers, you can hardly see what's going on, and being at home with your big TV and having a close-up shot on whoever's at bat, and in some ways it can be a better thing. And I think we're also thinking about it in terms of how we are using people's time. Are we going to make that person commute for an hour to come down here for a 2-hour meeting? But I guess it's just kind of trying to strike the right balance. And our theme, you've been away from us for a while, we miss you so much, but our theme that we've just begun to introduce is new in 22. And I use the example of, it's like, when you've got a junk drawer in your kitchen, it spills out on the floor. You're not going to try to return it exactly as it was before. You're going to explore and hopefully get organized. You would never have a junk drawer. I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't find that in your house. I'm sure everything's organized. But I said, I've had this sense of, us trying to return to what we once were, what we once had. There's this like sort of, melancholy, remembrance, at least for me, of what the past was like. And it's time to just get up my pity pot and, it's time for us to get up and say, look, we don't know what this new drawer is going to look like, but we're going to make sure it's damn good. and see what you said. You know, the innovations and the kinds of discoveries that maybe that can come from that. You know, is an exciting thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy. I love the junk drawer. I certainly do have a junk drawer or two in our house. But I love that analogy. It is a new year. It's a new opportunity to reimagine the way we go about communicating, meeting, having business, doing business. And I think it's an exciting opportunity. Hopefully, knock on wood, some of the constraints of COVID are behind us, and that will allow us to think differently, think more positively, think more freely, hopefully, than we have in the last couple of years. So I think a hybrid effect is going to be a really positive thing. But I will say it is nice to it's nice to go outside and feel like, things are really turning a corner. It's nice to go into a store and not feel so worried or panicked. And those are good feelings. So I hope that this year brings more of that.
Well, hopefully Harper Rose will never have to know what another pandemic's like in her lifetime. We
That's
hope and pray
right.
that that's the case. One last question, because we're out of time. Does your mom, is she just as happy as can be, or your
Oh,
parents?
she is just so happy. They both are. My sister had a boy
That's
about
right, your
8 months
sister.
ago. So she and I both will have children that will grow up. So my parents have a boy and a girl granddaughter, and they're just so happy. And Rich's family's so excited. So yeah, it's a wonderful,
What a
wonderful
blessing.
time.
What a
Yeah.
blessing. We are so happy for you, and we wish you all the best. How much longer are you going to be on
I know.
maternity?
I am returning to work in the next couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that, and I think it'll be good for all of
Well,
us.
if you're bored, we have a board meeting in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
But
that's
if
right.
you can't make it, I certainly understand.
Yes.
People do ask about you. People love you. They appreciate
I'm,
you, and they want you back. We want you back. There's so much stuff going on with navigating life. We need
yes,
advice and counsel in a lot of different areas.
of course.
This 15 minutes is flowing by. Thank you for making the time for us. Maybe next time we could meet, Harper,
Love
and
to.
and I look forward to seeing you. And give my best to Rich. I'm glad to
Sure.
hear he's a good father.
I will. He's the best. Thank you all. It was so good to see you, Dan, and much love to everybody out there in the NuPath family. So thank you for having me this morning.
Thank you, Haley. New mother, new mom, Haley Haggerty. We will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Isn't she great? I am a little disappointed that she didn't have her baby Harper Rose to meet me, because I think after 6 weeks she should meet Uncle Dan. But maybe some other time. And now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk to Tiana McGhee, our database manager. Well, let's bring her on and talk to her directly and embarrass her that way. She's fantastic. You're gonna love her. Tiana McGhee, welcome to New Path Live.
Thank you for having me.
I can't believe it. How it could be all these years that we've been doing this, that we haven't had you on as a guest. And when you saw how long my notes were about all the things about you that I'm to talk about, you would be astonished. That says that you're successful, that you're skilled, that you do a lot of important things for the organization. And you're one of these people that I'm going to read all the good stuff about you. Don't worry, I'm not going to forget. It's right here, because I want people to know who you are. But this we're honoring International Women's Month. Actually, the 8th was the Women's Day, and so I started we started thinking about who do we want to honor, some of our strong and great and smart and competent women that keep this engine going forward. And your name came up as somebody that we should talk to. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Now I'm going to look at my notes here, so I don't want to miss a single thing. You just celebrated 6 years with this. I can't even believe that could be true.
I know it flew by.
Flew by. I
Yeah.
would say flown by. You, in that time, not only did you complete your bachelor's degree, now your master's, recently new graduate with your master's degree in data and with a data analytics focus. You work on everything having to do with our databases, and I remember when you started talking about going to school and getting your master's, and is there anything we could do? We've got our tuition reimbursement program. I was so happy that we could share some small part in helping you do that, because I just love to see successful people and people that are ambitious and people that are, that are actively, moving themselves forward. But so you've done all of that on top of having 4 kids, single mom. Can I read the ages of the kids? Because I
Sure.
think that just shows how strong you are. 4, 10, 12, 25. And am I right? You are now a grandmother?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you point out you're a single mom.
No.
You're there in that beautiful kitchen. I can see it. And you're in one of our rooms, aren't you? Yeah.
I'm in our kitchen. Yeah.
Kitchen. Right. Well, it is a beautiful kitchen.
It is.
And throughout the pandemic, I want to hear you talk about all of the challenges of holding it all together, because you certainly have not had it easy with everything that's been on top of you between education, work, being a mother, now a grandmother. How you do it, I don't know. But welcome. Talk to us. Tell us about what the past couple of years have been like, where things are with you, what you want the organization to know about how much you do for us each and every day behind the scenes.
Thank you. So for me, it was determination that got me through all my school and staying on top of my duties here and everywhere else. It's hard, but you have to do it. It has to get done one way or another. Here at NuPath, I'm working with our electronic medical record. I run the background of the database of that system, not to mention Navigating Life. I'm a big advocate for Navigating Life. So I'm setting up all of the accounts. I meet the parents on days off. It doesn't matter, as long as I can get my job and my piece done for NuPath.
Now,
So,
can I just interrupt you real quick? The electronic medical record.
yes.
You passed over that like you were going out for a cup of coffee.
Well, no, because when I first was hired, it was a big project, and now it's kind of dwindled. I feel like we're at a place where a bug may come up, but there's nothing major that needs to be done on that side of the system as of right now.
So for families that don't know what you're talking about, or for people that maybe they don't really understand, this is how we collect all of our data, how we manage all of our records, it really is fundamentally how we produce our documents for the state and the expectations for all of that. Is that right? How many forms do we have that people, do you know off the top of your head, like just roughly?
So right now we're using about 15 to 18 forms throughout the system. We have attendance in the system. Our contracts manager is connected in the system. The whole nursing department is connected throughout the system. I'm now introducing our staff to the system to do some of their notes in the system. So it's just a very, I don't know, it's a system for all of us to get access to for our individuals' medical care and so on.
We would be screwed basically if we didn't have it, and if you can imagine a day when I remember Dan Lannon and I trying to introduce something, because back in those days, everything was just Word documents.
Right.
It's not just take a shutter down and think about what it took.
All those binders.
And now it's all of a flick of a finger, and
yes.
You're the guru, they call you, that the data guru, the facilitator of Navigating Life back-end operations. This has to do, you mentioned Navigating Life before, but this is our flagship, product that we're so proud of. I want to know a couple of things. Talk to us about what it takes to do the back end, what that means, like how you're managing things for behind the scenes for Navigating Life. The other thing I hope you talk to us a little bit about is in your opinion, what percentage of our families are using it? And if those are not, what your reasons why you think they may not? So maybe a little bit more about what you do for Navigating Life and then about the families.
Okay. So for the Navigating Life app, since it is a private app, only people who receive access to the app through me or one of my counterparts, we give you access to the system. And so our role is to input your information into the system, enroll you into the correct groups, It might be your residential home, it might be your day program. And we enroll you into the appropriate group so that you only see your child or the people that you are supporting. And so that is my role in that. I get an email out to you where it allows you to create your password and gives you access into the Navigating Life app. So that's really my role.
And that's all for confidentiality and HIPAA and we
privacy.
Great responsibility to these families that we're going to protect the data of their children, and that's part of what you're doing too. So
right.
Yeah. So
continue. In addition to that, I'm reaching out to families that are having trouble getting onto the app. I've met up with families here at 147 at some of the residential homes just to get them comfortable with using the app. Installation, how to log in. Sometimes it can be difficult if you haven't used a bunch of apps in the past. So I try to get them comfortable with that. I think maybe, I don't really know a percentage, maybe let's just say maybe 40%, 45% maybe. I might be a little off there, but from my feel of it, some of the families don't have smartphones. But this is not a holdup because we have a web version where you can view the same information from the web. You don't need a smartphone for that. So I'm trying to get those families on board that way if they don't have the smartphone.
How many do you think are out there that have that are still not, because they don't have the smartphones or because they're just refuse, or would you say there's still a large percentage?
No, the ones that we were worried about are on actually now. Whether they're logging on, how frequent they're logging on, that part I don't know. And that's the part I need to get more ironed out so that I can figure out who else I can reach out to see how I can help them get back in to the app.
Because you and Ann track the number of posts that all of the staff make. You can tell. In fact, we're going to start a new initiative where we're going to start, I think the plan is to do it on NuPath Live, highlighting the posts, of the week or a picture of the week, or the person who's done the most, is a way to honor. And hopefully families are commenting and liking what they see, because I feel like it's this ecosphere. Staff are going to do it more if they know the families care and are reading, and if they're liking what they see, then that's going to prompt the staff to use it more. And then if for some reason the staff aren't using it, families expect it, they'll say, hey, what's going on? And so it'll help us sustain it, because it is something that just we can habituate ourselves to it once we make it part of the routines. And there's going to be families that just for whatever reason they can't or they don't want to use it, but once they do, I'm sure most will agree that it's so much better than getting some random note written in a notebook sent home saying the same thing every day.
Every day, yes, I agree.
Are we getting better?
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
How would you say? How do you know?
Well, in the beginning, you're talking from the app wise for navigating life wise. Yes. Oh, yes, for sure. So
I love it. I love your response.
When we first rolled out the app, there were bugs here and there, and change is hard for people, and introducing something new was a little bit hard, but we got through that. And now we have videos on there. You can make video calls and behavior data, and there's just so much in this app that it's like, why not use it? It's right here in your hands, and we all walk around with our cell phones, and we have the iPads for use in all the homes and programs. It's just there.
You have it on their phone if
yes.
need be? Yes. So were you just there in that sweet few minutes isolated the problems that we're having trying to get this out to a larger extended community? You are here today as a successful professional with a master's. I'm so proud of you, by the way. I just can't say enough about you. That's hard stuff. And clearly, what you're talking about. It paid off. But you are somebody that has experienced all kinds of challenges. Kids at home, virtual learning, all the other stuff you and I were talking about was saying, hey, if somebody's not vaccinated, you're not going over. If you're, you were very strict with your kids. I'm sure that wasn't easy,
Mhm.
and all the things you've done, but you kept with it, you stuck with it, you persevered. How to get people to stick with change in this way, and stick with it until it becomes something they're familiar with, because it does provide such an opportunity.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you're a beacon of light to us all. I'm so happy that that you're not going to go anywhere now that you've got a master's. Are you going to go find another job someplace?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Good, good,
You
good.
helped me and I'm in here for life.
All right, that's what I like to hear. I know I can't hold you to it, but I sure hope that we never have to think about what we do if we didn't have you doing the important work. It is just it blows my mind. Not many people could do what you're doing. Tiana McGhee, thank you so much for being a guest today and for sharing with us about the wonderful stuff you're doing. And congratulations again on your master's and being a grandma.
Thank you as well, Dan.
We'll see you soon. Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Don't we have the best people connected to this organization? Oh my goodness. I'm the luckiest CEO alive. I talk too much and we're at the end of our time together. See you next week. Happy International Women's Day. We got this, guys. Bye.